What's up guys, Martin, bringing you a brand new video. But today, in today's video, as you can see, we're back. The return to league racing on my channel on F1 2020. Right, I think I've got a bit of explaining to do since I've gone a bit quiet on YouTube and in league racing as a whole for the past 2 months. Gonna keep this very brief because obviously you've clicked on this video to be entertained, to watch some league racing, some exciting league racing against some top drivers in the Xbox community here in TSRL. So basically I took a 2-month break, I think. It's been quite a while from league racing. So in late 2020, during this time I was competing, as you can see, in the Ferrari. Not doing reasonably well. Not the ideal season started for me. But during this time I was going through quite a difficult time mentally. A lot of personal problems behind the scenes. But I think we all were to an extent. 2020 was a rough one, wasn't it? It's not getting any better with this coronavirus pandemic. But specifically with me, I was having... Well, basically one of my family members was very, very ill at the time, and obviously the timing of it was pretty bad given the lockdowns, you know, working full time. Basically, mentally I was just a bit burnt out, and I really struggled to find the motivation, the desire to hop on the game and play it for one, and to actually compete at the highest level is a different ball game. I know it's only a video game, but it is tough mentally to sort of sacrifice your time and effort on a weekly basis in an environment that's mentally very challenging. It just got to a point where something had to give, and obviously it was going to be league racing, and so my focus was directly on more important things in life. But thankfully over these past 2 months things have gotten a lot better, and now I'm starting to gradually begin the process of coming back to racing, because I have missed it quite a lot. It's a huge passion of mine. You know, I love uploading, I love racing, as you can probably tell since I've done this for about 7 years, so it's good to be back, and here we are in TSRL for the return for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a great track, this, isn't it? It's a proper old school circuit, separates the men from the boys, mistakes get punished, and it is a great track to come back on. Obviously I've been gone for a while, but the pace was looking pretty handy. I got up to speed quite quickly, and I was fancying my chances of a good result. And so yeah, looking at the championship standings now, it's been a while. Let's see who's on top, and it is TRL Limitless, the reigning champion, who is in pole position to take his 2nd consecutive TSRL championship in a row, but he's got to fend off LCR Leopard and Shazoo Felipe. Just, well, he's got a bit of a work cut off if he wants to win, but still all to play for. I am actually not on this championship standings because my points got taken away and I am now a reserve driver. So yeah, big shout out to CRG Chris, who makes these tables and the graphics. He does TRL Limitless thumbnails as well. I'll leave a link in his description, so go please check him out. As you can see, it's quite a long video compared to my other highlights. Basically now I'm including different POVs from the other drivers competing to give you guys a better perspective of what's going down, up and down the grid, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Here we are then in the garage, preparing for our qualifying session, Q1, first of 3 sessions, and immediately checking the weather throughout all the periods in qualifying and the race to make sure we don't get any nasty surprises during the sessions. And as you can see, it is dry for qualifying and dry for the race, so feeling pretty good. As you can see, I'm in the racing point for this race. Normally I'm in the Ferrari, but like I said, I am now a reserve driver, and with reserve drivers, basically you turn up, and you don't actually get allocated a car. Basically you let the game pick one for you. So that it's kind of a bit of a curveball because, you know, it's difficult in terms of preparation. Obviously the cars are equal, but I do think, in my opinion, they do have different handling characteristics, so they're not technically equal in my opinion. I think performance wise they are, but yeah, like I said, handling characteristics are a bit indifferent. Some people may think I'm chatting shit, but ask any F1 esports drivers and any competitive league racer, and they'll probably say the same thing. But I was still pretty happy with the Force India. I still call it Force India to this day. Cross the line, 25.7 provisional pole position in Q1, and that is job done in terms of getting into Q2 in my opinion on one set of tyres. So yeah, immediately out the blocks, looking pretty fast, but the championship leader TSRL has been looking pretty handy in practice, aiming to defend his title, goes fastest on 25.6.
Oh, that slowed me down so much.
And, not an ideal lap for him, but I got held a bit by the Ferrari in last chicane, so plenty of time to gain for both of us. Q1, Felipe tops the timesheets on a 25.5. Danny, Clenzo, and Maze Square and Sparks are the guys who get eliminated from Q1. And yeah, job done for us. So we are then loading into Q2 and feeling pretty good, first lap, job done, and feeling pretty hyped. So there was a lot of time on the table. PB was a 25.0, so yeah, I was feeling good. But as you can see in 3, 2, 1... and my game crashes. I just get dashboarded, and I want to make this very clear right now. I have the brand new Xbox Series X, the most powerful Xbox in the world right now, and the game still breaks. Like, Codemasters, come on. Like, Jesus. But yeah, managed to get back in the session. No dramas with 10 minutes to go. So Q2, this is where things get a little bit more tense. We will be starting the race on these tyres, the lap time that we complete. And I was running quite a high downforce setup, so in Sector 1 theoretically we should be one of the quickest cars if we hook it up. And Suzuka, like I said, it's a very challenging circuit, so just want to get a lap time on the board here in the early stage of the session. Heavy brake into chicane, third gear, clip the apex to the right to open up the left. Short shifting through the gears, trying to get the power down, nice and easy. DRS wide open, 25.6, job done. Should be, to get into Q3, and yeah. But basically, going into the final run, when I disconnected, the set of tyres that I completed in Q1, I came back in the session and they're at 0%. So basically when I disconnected, the game gave me an extra set of fresh tyres. So I was like, well, okay, let's just do another lap then, and to ensure that security into Q3, and to mainly just get my eye in for the final shootout for pole position. Because it's for sure we're in the hunt, but it's not all plain sailing. We're down in 7th place now with Ronha and Limitless topping the time sheets on a low 25. But we are responding. Nearly quarter of it, or 2/10 up. Hard on the power through Spoon. Good exit through there. Plunging into the final sector now. Fast man of anyone in the middle sector. And you can see driving wise, I feel like I'm driving pretty well. Consistent. Not making any major mistakes. Going across the line now, and it is a 1:25.4, and that promotes us into P3 for the final shootout, where things are going to get very sweaty.
All clear the garage, please. Car ready to leave.
So here we go then, Q3. This is the most important session, most important moment in this league race. Track position is essential. Heading to the Spoon now for our first run, carrying a little bit too much speed, and we lose the car completely on the exit. I think we set the fastest first sector as well, the 0.7. So, not ideal, but since we went out early, we can abandon a lap, and we still have enough time, I think, to do 2 runs, with 2 sets of fresh tyres to work with. So starting our second lap now, and this is where we definitely need to put a lap time on the board, because we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we have no lap times on the board heading into the final few seconds of the session, where all the pressure is going to be on. Heading into the first sector now, and this first sector is amazing. I am on the wheel, so that does help quite a bit. And like I said, I was running quite a high downforce setup, 3.8 wings, which is relatively high compared to my other competitors. TRL Limitless was running 2.7, so difference in strategy for the setups. That should make us very quick through the corners, but obviously on the straights, as we run wide a little bit on the Degna 2 there, braking on the grass, and we managed to recover it. And heading into this hairpin now, this is very tricky under braking. Leaving it in 3rd gear and turning off the ERS to gain stability and traction. Lose the rear a little bit on the exit there. Heading into Spoon curve now. Tidy but not committed. I was a little bit rattled after the first mistake I made on my first run. Oh, don't run too wide on the exit there, Spoon, or else invalidate the lap. blasting down the back straight now, moving the brake bias forward just to ensure we don't get a bit too much rear locking as the rear tyres are screaming hot. 4 temps up on Hawks, I think, using P6. Can we get it slowed down? Tremendous speed on entry, but that's compromised our run for the exit. Just avoiding the curve on our right. As we blast towards the line now, what is the lap time? It's a 1:25.4. It's provisional pole. Unbelievable. As we gotta rush back to the pits now with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Do we have enough time to do another run? I think we might just do. As you know, it takes ages to switch the tyres and get back out there. I desperately wanted to, because that lap time, it's a good lap, but nowhere near the lap time I was predicted to get. Well, the lap time now was predicted to get pole position. My PBs are flat, and as you can see, VSR Smasher, who won the Singapore Grand Prix and came second in Russia, and the man on form, is on provisional pole. We managed to get round in time to start our final run with 9 seconds to go. We are the last man on circuit, so theoretically we should have the most grip. The track evolution is at its peak as we plunge into turn 1 now. Carrying tremendous speed, hold it in 5th gear, wait for the front end to bite and bury the throttle. Make sure you hit the apex to the left to open up the right, lifting off a little bit because it does tighten as you carry greater speed, but we missed the apex of that previous left. We just compromised our run for the exit of this S is here. Getting to Dunlop now, back end dancing about there, so it's not the tidiest of first sectors, but nevertheless we're still the fastest man through that first sector, almost full throttle through Degner 1, making sure we hit the apex of Degner 2 and look ahead as we blast into the hairpin now, almost a 10th.5 up. This hairpin is all about the exit. Do not worry about hitting the apex, just get in that exit, get in that traction as we blast, heading into Spoon Curve now, and the time is going to come in thick and fast. TSRL Limitless, 2 personal bests in the first and second sector. What is the lap time? It's provisional pull on a 1:25.213. Limitless pulls a rabbit out of the hat once again, but has he celebrated just that little bit too early because we're going faster? Coming out of Spoon now, nearly 2 and a bit temps up, getting good traction. Leopards trump Limits by 0.02 of a second. We were set the fastest first sector, fastest middle sector. Could this be pole position on our return as Ron has under 0.1? Into the far sector now, hitting the apex to the right, but we missed the apex to the left. I don't believe it, we've choked. We're still up, so can we salvage a good position as head towards the line? It's got to be at least second row, maybe top 5. I knew I shouldn't have come back. I knew I should have just stayed away, but fuck's sake, we've choked the pole, we're down in 7th, I can't be arsed. We set a 7.28 first sector, 3 last, and a 2 final sector. Ron Hart 1/4 of a second faster in that last sector. I was devastated, that hurts a lot. Is Ron Hart on pole, Leopard second, Limitless in 3rd, Lefted Felipe Smasher and myself in 7th place. You can see only a 10th.5 off pole position, but tiny margins occur in these top leagues and we get punished with that vital mistake, and it means we've got an uphill task. We want to win this race. It's just so gut-wrenching, but that's just how it goes, unfortunately. We've just got to take it on the chin and try recover in the race. Let's see what we can do. See, we are on the grid, P7, and this start is going to be absolutely crucial, as we know the DRS trains are pretty OP on this game. It's very difficult to make progress once the DRS is enabled. So 5 lights about to go out now. Can we get a good start and make up some positions? As lights out and away we go. A good initial launch, but getting some poor traction, poor grip, and that allows Oxitez to trump us into 7th place, 9th place now. A terrible start and just got absolutely no grip. It looks like our tyres were a little bit too cold in the formation lap. Felipe gets a good squeeze on the exit there. We find ourselves pinched on the apex. The Williams trying to regain control as we looks like we made contact there with Dom. As you can see, we've just got absolutely no grip, and that is because our tyres were too cold. And yeah, this is not ideal now. We've lost a position, 2 positions now. It looks like Lefters ran wide, and the 2 Williams are now going side by side, getting very close, too close, as the Williams have Lefted has gone off into the barrier. It looks like we picked up another warning there, Degner 1, and a safety car has now been deployed as Lefted went flying off into the barrier. So right now, I've just got to regain and just think about strategy now. as we've actually lost a position now. We're down into 8th place now, and right now I'm just thinking what to do. Instinctively you should go for the hards and go to the end, but I might switch it up and stay out. I've got to replay the start now, and it all kicked off and Felipe got the squeeze on the grass, and I was kind of watching him, and I found myself on the apex of Hawks, lost control, and I just didn't see Dom there. So that is yeah, old man's up. That's probably my bad, but thankfully Dom, some good car control. But it's just so difficult here in Japan. Sector 1 is so narrow and there's just all sorts of carnage going on. And I was having cold tyres, but as you can see, the Williams at his left are going flying off into the wall, and that must be gut-wrenching for him, doing that full qualifying and for him to be out of the race in the opening lap. You see Hawk's got a great run for his spin, punched overtake, and Lefted probably just didn't anticipate the closing speed, tried to close the door. And yeah, controversy between the two Williams drivers. Claire Williams must be absolutely livid with them two. But here we go, as the pit lane window is now open with the safety car being deployed, and everyone has decided that we're going to stay out, we're going to switch it up, and Ron Ha has stayed out as well. So yeah, basically I want track position. I knew in my head, theoretically, going onto the hards to the end of the race is probably a little bit quicker, but again, I don't know if the hards are going to go to the end. I don't know that they're going to be fast enough. So the aim now is to try and get a gap on these guys, and then pit for mediums and hopefully catch them up. But we need a big gap, like ideally 10 plus seconds. It is doable. We've seen it around tracks like Russia and Mexico that the one-stop isn't necessarily faster at times, but hey ho, we're going to try after a poor qualifying session. It's interesting enough, Smasher actually got past Liverless in the pit lane entrance during the safety car. This is actually quite funny, so watch this.
How always he jump me?
You can do, you can do. You're allowed to do that.
What the fuck?
Vettel did it a few seasons ago, remember? Yeah, I got him. Let's go. Ozzy. He's gonna be fuming. He's gonna be fuming.
I love Smasher's reaction. It was so good. But yeah, he makes a good point. Sebastian Vettel did this in real life in the 2016 Chinese Grand Prix. As you can see, he mugs off the racing, the Force India and the Toro Rosso, and you can actually make overtakes in the pit lane entrance there. So JD getting mugged off there. Oh, speaking of getting mugged off, Thomas Ronha has left the building as a safety car and pulls off into the pits. And we go racing here. And yeah, like I said, we got to try and pull the gap now, because I think the top 11 have stayed out. We've got myself and Ronha on the softs. We've got from 3rd to 11th on mediums. We're doing a medium soft strategy. So in theory, those guys behind are even a better strategy than me and Ronha. But yeah, we just got to push as hard as we can now, try and build a gap on those hard runners, and just hope that the pace differential is too big for those guys, so we can catch them up once the pit window is open. And I didn't get any notifications, but we did set the fastest lap of the race there. But we have picked up 2 warnings, so we need to keep that in mind. And right now, just desperately trying to get a DRS on Ron Ha. This guy is rapid, if anyone knows him on Xbox. He's got some serious pace, so we've got a tough task in our hands on our first race back, trying to keep up with this guy. But I knew on the mediums I was feeling a lot more better than I was on the softs, and critically we have got the DRS on Ron Ha. As you can see here, he actually clips too much curb on the inside there, and this is the problem with Sector 1, because if you mess up the first part, it compromises your run for the final part, and now we're closed up by a 10th or so. So that little mistakes like that just give me a little bit of confidence. But as you can see here, on board with TRL Limitless, and he's not even that far behind, so the hard compound tyres is looking, well, this is looking like the better strategy so far. As you can see, we're 29.6 fastest lap. Limitless did a 30.7, but ultimately on those hard compound tyres, they are going to get quicker and quicker and quicker as the fuel load goes down. The durability of the hard compound tyres means the lap times won't drop off. And yeah, it's not looking particularly good right now. It's not going to get even better as we run right in the exit, Deckner 2, and pick up a 3-second time penalty. So yeah, as you can see, nothing's changed since I've left. I'm still picking up penalties, which is very infuriating. But right now, still, you know, keeping up with one of the quickest guys on Xbox. As we're on lap 10 now, we pulled a 2.1 second lead on those medium runners, but they're going to be a threat when they pit for the softs. On board now with TRL Limitless, and you can see he's still, the gap's big, but it's not anywhere near as much as I would like it to be. as he's actually now the lead hard runner, as Smasher gets a big snap of oversteer on the exit chicane, and he breezes on by. But Limitless locks up into turn 1 and...
JD just brake checked me, for fuck's sake, man. What is he doing? Just stop.
Oh dear. I don't think he brake checked him. Obviously, you know, Smasher's very frustrated. He was driving a fine race, but Limitless locking up there, just didn't get the rotation and momentum through the corner. And that looks like it caught Smasher out, and he's lost an end plate. And if you lose an end plate around Japan, just turn off your Xbox, it's over. So yeah, unlucky left for Smasher, and Limitless punches overtake and takes the lead, or provisional lead, past LCR Leopard. His title rival, as Ronha is now in the pits. And obviously he's going to get an undercut now. But I wasn't too concerned, because I know having fresher mediums is pretty OP around this track, even if it's 1 or 2 lap fresher tyres. But as you can see on the minimap, Ronha's coming out the last corner now, and Limitless is into turn 1, so that is a big gap that we've got to now haul in on board with Limitless once again. And I'm just coming out the pits now, so... yeah, we took a gamble strategy, but it's looking like it's going to be unlikely for the victory here today, unless I give Jarno Otmir a call and he can take the wheel for me. As the gap is now 2.5 seconds between myself and Thomas Ronha. But we have 1 lap fresher mediums. Now I was feeling a lot more confident on these compound tyres, particularly using the high downforce setup. That does help with these hard compound tyres, as the gap has gone down from 2.5 to 2.2 seconds now. And critically we've got DRS on the Ghost car, which means we can save our ERS, and that is going to be vitally important if we want to carve our way through the field on these medium compound tyres. You can see on the mini-map we've got an uphill task on us as we enter Sector 1 now. And yeah, the confidence I had was so good, as the gap is just coming down very quickly on Ronha. The gap is now 2 seconds dead, and we're just pushing so hard now. And obviously we've got that 3-second time penalty, which is, yeah, it's not ideal, but at the end of the day, you know, this race for me is just trying to get back into the groove of things. Just trying to do the best I can, take the positives, and hopefully, you know, you never know if it's a safety car or it can all kick off, then who knows, can maybe challenge for the win. But skipping on to lap 16, and the medium runners are now going to pit. The guys who stayed out under the safety cars will now be going to the soft compound tyres, so these guys are now going to come into the frame now, as we're gaining massively on the hard runners. As Dom comes out on a set of soft compound tyres, where are we going to end up? And we've got a massive undercut, around 5 seconds ahead now, but they're going to be whoring us in on those set of red walls. The gap between myself and Ronha is 1.8 seconds on board with Limitless 1, because again, he's coming out of Dunlop curve now, and you can see his lap times. Like I said, the hard compound tyres, they're very slow, but they do ramp up, and his fastest lap is at 29.5. It's not an apex there, but as you can see, he's pulled a 1.1 second gap now on Leopard, so a crucial, you know, moment for the race for him and his championship, because he could extend his lead and be on his way for his second TSRL title on board with us now on lap 20. You can see we've got the gap down to Ronha now. Target lock on the Renault. Those 1 lap pressure tyres proving dividends, and he's got a run on Jam Pancakes, the first of the hard runners. And Ronha and Jam Pancakes, they do not get along, so I was thinking in my mind, well, we could see some fireworks, but as you can see, there we go, there's a front end, some damage there. It looks like the two have made contact, but which car has got the damage? We'll see now in Sector 1. It is Ronha, the Renault driver, making the move on Pancakes, has broken his front when you can just see how much performance he's losing. And I was just thinking, oh, here we go, this is going to kick off now, because Ronha's going to be fuming with that. I don't have a replay, unfortunately, as to what happened. It looked like a racing incident. But right now I'm thinking, right, I've got to look, he's weaving everywhere, he is fuming, so right now I've got to try and dispose of these two down the inside of Jam Pancakes into the hairpin. We've got a tight line to that corner now, and it compromises our exit, and Pancakes has got a great exit and a tour from the Renault, and he'll be fired up to get that position back as Ronha's got damage. Both running quite low on ERS, and this is not ideal for our race, because this is costing us so much time. And see on the mini-map, the hard runners are heading into 130R. Limitless is at the final chicane, so it's not looking too bright for the victory. So we need to get past these guys as soon as possible. We want to score big points, as Pancakes is going side by side through 130R. Please don't do that, as he backs out of it and thinks better of it. But right now we're going to go down the inside into the chicane, making sure we get that move done, so we can get the DRS and slipstream, hopefully on Ronha, and take him into turn 1. Because we're going to be compromised through Sector 1 with his front wing damage. But slipstream on this game is pretty dead, and unfortunately we're just unable to make that move on Ronha. Which means now obviously we've got to follow him in Sector 1, which is absolutely very aggravating. As you can see, he just doesn't have the performance and grip. And meanwhile the gap between Ronha and Clenzo is ever extending. We've really got to get past him. But he's going to be a very frustrated man as he runs around Digna now. We've got to get past him now. Entering one of my favourite opportunities, overtaking places on the game, down the inside to the hairpin now. Can we get it? Yes we can, we make it stick, but Ronha's got a great switchback. Trying to get the power down, but Ronha is not the kind of guy to roll out the red carpet. He loves a scrap. As we're going side by side now, I'm just thinking, surely, just let me go, you've got damage, it's over. But he hands it down the inside, making contact with us, not once but twice, but 3 times. So we're just trying to get the power down, we're still side by side, just making a little bit of contact on the straight there. And I was losing my composure at this point. I was just like, why are you fighting this hard? But here we are, into 130R, we're going to lift off. He's got no ERS left, and I'm thinking maybe I can get him into the hairpin. Oh, sorry, down the main straight. But that's allowing pancakes, and Dom, look on his soft compound tyres has joined us train. So look at so much time we've lost. Last lap, a 31, we've lost 2.1 seconds on that lap alone. And again, we're still unable to make a move down the straight, so that means once again we've got to follow him in Sector 1, and it's just so aggravating. And this is just, as Dom, look at Dom going down the inside into Dunlop curve. That is a phenomenal pass from him. A bit of argy-bargy on the exit there, but so yeah, we've got a Renault, we're in a Renault sandwich right now. And again, heading into the hairpin. Ronha's lifting off now. This is some strange driving going on here as we go round the outside to the hairpin, second gear. Can we make this stick? Yes, we can. Finally, we get past the Renault, and here comes Dom, his teammate, on the grass, 2 wheels, unbelievable wheel banning. And oh, this is going to be not ideal for us in terms of our defence, as we've got the soft runner behind now. But yeah, this is why qualifying is so important on this game, because we've lost so much time. Honestly, if I didn't make that mistake in the last chicane qualifying, what difference could that have made on the race? Now I'm down in 6th place, is that? And now we've got Dom on our tail, and we're just going to let him go. Because we're running quite low on ERS, and I know from my experience on that tyre that they do go off towards the latter stages of the stints. So I was thinking, right, I can maybe have you at the end of the race. But yeah, ultimately this strategy has not paid off. Perhaps we should have paid for the hard compound tyre when the safety car was brought out. Or maybe we shouldn't have, as look at that, as a McLaren, that is Clenzo, he's got a puncture. And well, that is race over for him. So there we go, maybe there's a twist and a turn here, maybe the guys at the front, the likes of TSRL in this, could be in huge trouble here, because that is lap 25 he's had that puncture. I mean, it's not as if it's the last lap, they've still got to do another 2 laps. And look at that, on the above the fuel mix, he's got the tyre warning of red, so puncture imminent, so potentially we could have some late dramas. But as you can see on the end to the final lap now, no punctures as of yet. And as you can see, we've got target lock on the Renault, and again we're just trying to, you know, end this race on a high, trying to go around the outside into Dom, into turn 1. His softs have gone off, giving him lots of room, as we were a little bit, you know, felt a bit bad after that drama we had on lap 1 when we made the move stick. With that 3-second time penalty, it is not looking good as we enter the final lap now. And look at this, is the battle for the final podium position on the last lap, round the outside of the chicane. Are you kidding me? Has he, Mikastik? He has, as Limitless has won in Japan. A critical moment for him in the championship, as McCabe has actually made the move stick for the podium. And myself crossing a line in P5, soon to be P6, soon to be P7. It's an absolute disaster, and it all kicked off from that qualifying choke. However, it was still a fun, action-packed race, and a lot of positives, because I felt the pace was good. But ultimately, it is TSRL Limitless who gets the job done, and what a moment for him for the championship. That is a 51-point lead now, with 4 races to go. Surely one of his finest tries, and surely he can't throw this away now. Or can he? I don't think he will. Good job from him. And as we look for the classifications, Limitless takes the victory with Leopard in 2nd place. Sam McCabe pulling off an astonishing pass, with Hawks in 4th, Dom Linners, myself, Pancakes, Felipe and Oxtes completes the top 10. So on paper a pretty disappointing result, but yeah, I think the qualifying we had the pace for pole in, the race were pretty handy on pace, just didn't quite get the strategy right, and ultimately a bad start put us in a position where we had to make an aggressive strategy, make a bold call, and it just didn't work out. And yeah, we'll go again next time, and hopefully we can get track position and give Limbless and Leopard a hard time at the front. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video, first race back, and yeah, hopefully we can continue on the end of the season. The plan is to do some full-time league racing when a new league start in March, so you should see a lot more content towards end of February and March. But right now I'm just going to do individual reserve races to slowly get myself back into racing, because it does take quite a while to get back into it. So yeah, just want to say a massive thank you for all the support in previous videos, and if you're still watching my videos after this huge break, welcome back, and I hope you stick around. And yeah, hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.